Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Beat the Book. I am your boy BigAL Bettor, joined as always by my wonderful co-host,
MattyBets, baby. What's going on? What's cracking?
MattyBets. How are you tonight, man?
I'm good. We just got done watching Thursday Night Football. Jets are kind of back, I would say.
They
Maybe
showed some life.
got a little. They showed a little aggressiveness, a little light. Um, they showed a little bit of skill. What we wanted to see from them for the most part. It wasn't a slaughter, so that obviously wasn't great. But no, they were able to get the win and beat a beat up Texans team. So hopefully they can carry that over to next week and just kind of keep it going, start stacking up the wins and go from there. But we'll see.
Absolutely. Aaron Rodgers always says, well, at least he did when he was with the Packers. He's like, all it takes is one, man. You get one win, it changes changes the whole vibe inside the locker room. Everybody's a little happier, Practices are a little easier. So hopefully it sparked something for him. They needed that one. But you guys know what you're here for. This is the NFL Sunday Week 9 video. This is my favorite video of the week. The way it works, we give you guys our locks of the week. I come with 5 games. Matt comes with 5 games. Between those 10 games, we agree on 3 of them. We give those out to you guys as our locks of the week. We have been profitable so far this season on giving out our locks of the week. We went 2-1 last week. We had the Buffalo Bills -3. That covered. We had the Commanders was it -3, Matt? Or was it +3 against the Chargers?
It was +3 against the Bears. Yeah, we were
Yeah,
getting points against the Bears.
Yeah, and so we were like, we have to take that. I think it was +3 because Jaden Daniels was questionable, but we were like,
Yep.
we've been betting on the Commanders quite a bit this year. They've been good to us. So I was like, we both were like, we have to take that. So we took that. And then the last pick we had was Bills Seahawks over. And the Bills took care of their end of the ball, but the Seahawks only scored 10 points. So we missed out on that. They got to 41, and I think the over-under was 47 or 48. So we just missed out on that. So we went 2-1. We've been positive on the season. We've given out 24 picks. Our record is what, Matt? Like 14-10.
Yeah, it's somewhere around there. We've given out 24 or 28 picks. 24, yeah.
8 times 3. 8 times 3 is 24.
Yeah, so out of the 24, yeah, we're about, like you said, 14-10. Sounds about right. Maybe 13-11, somewhere around there. But still
right.
positive.
We've been profitable.
Mm-hmm.
Then after we give you guys that's usually the bulk of the video. Then we jump into I give you a prop parlay, Matt gives you a prop parlay. We both do touchdown score parlays, and then at the very end we give out our teasers. Let's talk about the teasers for a second, Matt. How did yours do last week?
Not good, but it's not going to do good when you have the Ravens on it. So then the Ravens lost. So that's all I want to say is the Ravens lost, and they shouldn't have lost that game, but they did. And then also the Jets lost to New England. So we don't have to talk about it. We can move past it. We won the one before it, and every other week we've lost by like 1. It's been 1 loss every single time. It's just one team loses. You don't expect them to, but that's the way the dice rolls. So you take the crookers with the straights here, and obviously in sports betting, nothing's guaranteed. But we try to get as close as we can to guaranteed, especially in our opinion. But
Right.
How about yours?
I was on a teaser heater, guys. 3 weeks in a row we hit our teaser. I was so hyped up. And then on this week, and we were at the Bills Seahawks game, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh, and I had my phone out, and I'm checking the scores, and everything hit except the frickin' Jets. And I'm sitting there, and we're down to 2 minutes. They get the ball. They go score. I'm like, okay, cool. They got a 3-point lead or a 4-point lead with a minute and a half to go. This defense is good. They'll stop the Patriots. And then I look down at my phone, 2 minutes later, and it's Patriots at the 1 with 40 seconds. I was like, there's no way this is how it's going to be. And then, so I lost my teaser by just the Jets. I had a -1, and they don't win the game. I was just blown away. So we were supposed to go 4 for 4. And instead we go, 3 for 4. So we'll hope to bounce back this week. But anyway, let's hop into the locks of the week, Matt. What have you got for me? Unless you want me to go first, because I normally go last. So
yeah,
you want me to go first?
I'll go first this week. That's fine. You went first last week, I believe. We switched it up a little bit last week, so I'll go first.
Okay.
First of all, we're going to go Broncos at Baltimore. And Broncos are getting 9.5 against the Ravens. And I know that the Ravens just lost, so I think everybody's thinking, hey, Ravens, they're going to come back. They're going to pummel the next team that they play. I have something to say about that just because I know the Broncos offense isn't the greatest thing ever, but they actually have started to be kind of not really on a heater, but the offense has kind of found a different stride. They've kind of jumped to that next level where it's like they're not trash anymore. Like they passed the Browns, and then now they're like kind of middle of the pack. So I like that, and their defense is top 3 in the league. and they definitely have a better defense than the Raiders. So I think this might be a little bit of a trap game if you're going to take Baltimore minus the 9.5. I think that's a trap. Like I could see Baltimore still winning this, but I mean, if you're thinking like the books, like for us, like we do our teasers. I mean, you got the Ravens. You can tease them down to 3.5. Like they could lose two in a row. Like this is a better defense than the Raiders, and the Raiders held them to like nothing. Like nobody was able to breathe
Right.
on that team. So I don't know. We'll see how this game goes, but I do like the Broncos getting 9.5. And like I said, it's a better defense. I like the Ravens to struggle again. Next, we're gonna go Raiders at Bengals, and
Okay.
we're gonna take the under 46.5 points. It's unclear if T. Higgins is going to play. Obviously, I think as of right now, he is projected to play. He missed practice yesterday and today. He was on the sideline doing like some rehab drills. But like we've seen, the Bengals are just a different team without T. Higgins on the field. They can't really do a bunch on offense. It's just they struggle a ton. T. Higgins is kind of that safety valve that they don't like when they don't have him. The offense just doesn't play out. The games aren't as high scoring. The offense doesn't look as good. Doesn't look as good either. So, I mean, without T. Higgins in this game, if he doesn't play, I like the Bengals to not score a lot of points. And if they do, I mean, we've seen the Raiders offense. It's not that great. Gardner Minshew isn't the same player he was last year. I don't like this game being a very high scoring game on either side of the football. Then next, we're going Browns first Chargers. Browns are home against the Chargers. I like the Browns plus 1.5. I do.
Okay.
Chargers haven't really showed me enough to be able to score a ton of points. Browns are at home. I'll take the home team underdog there. And then next, we're going to go Washington at the Giants. Like you said, Washington's been printing us money all year. Jaden Daniels going to be playing in this game too. I mean, I'd be really surprised if he didn't play in this game, just because he played last
Mm-hmm.
week and his injury shouldn't be as bad as it was. So give me Washington against the Giants there, minus 3.5. And then my last one that I got for you is Bears plus 1.5 at the Cardinals. Last week was a tough week for them. They didn't look that good against Washington at all. But we saw a little bit of a spark from them near the end of the game. Commanders have a pretty good defense, a little underrated in my opinion. Uh, Cardinals defense isn't nowhere near as good. And the amount of hype and pressure that was on Caleb Williams in that game last week is insane. Like, so, I mean, you got
Yeah.
taken over Jaden Daniels. So you were the number one overall pick, law riding on this game. Uh, Sucks that they lost the game the way that they did on a Hail Mary like that, but I like them to be able to bounce back this week against the Cardinals. And you're getting
I
money on
think
them,
we
so.
all I think we all thought that game was going to be higher scoring than it ended up being, but you could have seen that one coming in hindsight just because we know the Bears defense is really good. And they did bottle up Jaden Daniels and that Commanders offense until, basically the end of the game. And then
Hmm.
a Hail Mary to win it, which is just kind of crazy, but it was iconic and it was like electric.
Yeah,
Yeah, so for the Broncos, you said your book's got it. You use FanDuel. It's at plus 8.5,
9.5.
9.5.
Yeah, we got 9.5 points, a touchdown and a field. Oh, I guess yeah, almost a touchdown and a field goal, but
Because
yeah.
over here on DraftKings rather, where'd it go? It's at 8, just 8 flat.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Yeah,
you
nine
got
and a
it at
half.
9.5.
I got
That
it at
is
9.5 when I
crazy
took
different.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're on the Ravens, you definitely want to check out DraftKings, guys.
No, for sure.
Okay, well I'll just shout it out like we always do. I had 2 of those games. I had the Broncos also. I wrote these down last night. Last night Broncos were +9. Now the book has moved. It's +8. So, but regardless, I like the Broncos, so we'll pencil that one in because we're already on it.
Yep. Lock that one in.
Lock it in, Broncos. Like I said, if you guys are on the Ravens, looks like DraftKings has a better number. And if you
Hmm.
like the Broncos, you can get 9.5 apparently right now on FanDuel, which is pretty cool. And then I'm also on the Commanders -3.5. Like I said earlier, they've been good to us all year. I think we've only lost like one bet taking them, and
Yeah.
I don't even know if we lost it because I was heavy on Tampa Bay week 1, which is one of the losses, and then isn't their only other loss the loss to the Ravens?
Yeah. And
And
that
we
one was
took
a
them in that
push.
game, and it was a push, so it's not even the L. They've just done nothing but print us money, and I think they've covered in almost every win they've had. So
Yep.
um, until they stop printing us money, I think it's just kind of foolish to like not take them.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with how good the offense looks too. The offense is good, the
So
defense is good, so yeah.
right, and especially like with like Jaden Daniels got hurt, and we were kind of like, oh, is that going to affect? But then he came right back, so it's like as long as he doesn't go out, this team's going to keep rolling. So anyway, my other three that aren't Broncos or Commanders, I've got the Rams -1.5 against Seattle. I was at the Bills game, Bills Seahawks game. The Seahawks did not look good, and the Rams got their weapons back. Even though Puka got hurt at practice today, he has a knee injury, so who knows if he's going to play the game or not. But even without him, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams, I like that a lot. My other is Titans Patriots over 38 points. I have been heavy all year, and I believe I've won all year on the Titans overs. They score 14 to 17 points a game. Up until last week, they'd scored 17, I believe, in every game except I think one where they had 14. This last week, I think they had 10 against Detroit, but Detroit scored 50, so the over still hit. So Titans Pats over 38. Titans overs have been cashing. They've gone over this number. I looked it up every game except one. They had one game that was 37 total points. Other than that, they've been over this number every time. Now, I know it's the Patriots, and they're the Patriots, but the Titans defense just got beat up by Detroit, so they're probably not going to be as good this week. So that's going to let the Pats score. And since Drake May became the starting quarterback, they've scored more points. The Patriots have. So I like the over in that game. I can't get away from a 7-1 record on hitting the over on this number with a Titans team. Then my last one is Chargers -1.5, which I know we're not going to use that one because you are on the Browns.
I'm on the other side, yeah.
Right. So, but those are my three. I like the Chargers. You're talking about the Browns. I haven't seen enough from the Browns. Like if the Browns win this game, then next week I would be open to looking at whoever the Browns play and whatever the lines are. But I've seen the Chargers play this year, and they've looked good. They only have what 4 losses.
Yes. Okay. Your point being
They lost to the Chiefs and the Steelers. Those are 2 of their losses, and those are the only losses they've had that are like big, and those are 2 playoff teams.
yeah, but they lost to the Steelers before they had Russell Wilson when they weren't putting up a lot of points. And I don't know about you, but I like the Browns defense this year. It's not as good as they were last year, but it's still a good defense. And like, I don't recommend watching this game because I don't think it's going to be a high scoring or a fun, exciting game at all. If you like defensive games and slow games where it's running 3 times like and then punting, then it's going to be a fun game. Like Nick Chubb's going to get a bunch of carries. I mean, the Chargers, that's what they do. They run the ball a ton. So
Yep.
I think it's going to be a slugfest. It's going to be a boxing match, not a UFC fight. So, yeah, that's why I just like the Browns to be able to edge them out there at the end of the game. I mean, that's really all I can say about that. I just like the Browns defense a little bit more than I like the Chargers defense. So, and the Browns offense looks better than it did with Deshaun, for sure.
Of course. But like, why are the Chargers favored in Cleveland?
Because the book is trying to get Chargers fans, guaranteed, like without a doubt.
You think that's what it is?
Yep.
Interesting.
Okay,
so we've got to come up with one more here.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I do have an honorable mention on my 5. It's one of the games that I'm throwing in my teaser, so I'm down to take it. And that's Rams -1.5 in Seattle. Because Sean McVay loves playing against Seattle.
I have Rams -1.5 as well, so I think we just pencil that in.
Yeah, I think we have to.
I liked your take on Raiders Bengals under 46, but I like it, but the Bengals just got killed, and so I wouldn't be surprised if Burrow comes out and throws for 450 yards and Jamar Chase has 203.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing is I would be surprised. I mean,
because
it's because it depends on if T. Higgins plays or not. Like Burrow is not the same quarterback without T. Higgins.
I think that's a big deal, and I think that's something that the Bengals need to seriously look at because before this season started, they're like, T, we're not going to give you a new contract, we're going to franchise you, and then we're going to move you next year. It's like, you may not be able to move on from T. Higgins. Like, the difference at week 3, was it week 3 or 4 when T. Higgins was added back to the lineup? That offense is 1,000% better when T. Higgins and Jamar are on the field than when it's just Jamar. And Jamar's great. I like Jamar, but like, give T. Higgins his flowers, man. Like, that guy, once he came back into the lineup, changed that offense a lot.
Yeah, and like when they scored 48 points against the Ravens, like they still lost the game, but when they scored 48 points against the Ravens, like that like if T Higgins isn't on the field, they get blown out, and that's just
I
I
think it
mean
was 38, but yes.
yeah, but it's still like it's a ton of points, and like you don't get that many points without T Higgins there on the field, and then like obviously he's the number 2 receiver on that team, but on a lot of teams he'd be their receiver 1, so it's just because they have Chase there, which is why he's not the number 1 receiver and doesn't get all the flowers that Jamar Chase does.
And the crazy thing is T Higgins didn't play college ball with Joe, so he doesn't even have that like connection with him. It's just like T's just he's a big, tall wide receiver that's fast and can get open, and Joe trusts him. And it's so, yeah, I see what you're
Yep.
saying with T Higgins being a question mark. But then also you could flip that too and say, okay, you're going into it if T Higgins doesn't play like the under. What if T Higgins does play?
Yeah, exactly, and that's the only thing that scares me. But at the same time, too, it's like, I mean, the, I don't know. Raiders are on a high, but it's fine. Like we can talk about it, but I mean, at the end of the day, we're not throwing in our locks of the week, so we don't have to beat a dead horse.
Okay. So Rams -1.5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Circle that.
Yep. So those are our locks of the week for you guys. We have Broncos +9.5. The line most likely did change. I didn't look at it like in the last 2 hours. I also made my line last night too, so it probably did. If your line changed to, what'd you say it was 8.5?
It's down to 8 on DraftKings, and it was
Okay,
8. It was 9 last night, so it moved a whole point.
Okay, so then it's probably +8.5, which I'm still all on board with. You like it at +8, I'll take it at +8.5 for sure. Uh, so Broncos, wherever you can get it, whatever spread you can get it for, we're getting it at least 8. So 8.5, and then we have the Commanders -3.5 at the Giants, and then the Rams -1.5 at Seattle.
And as an honorable mention, I'll throw this in here just for the fans and then for you too, Matt, with your picks. Like Browns +1.5 and Bears +1.5. There's some podcasts I listen to where there's guys that like they listen to like what sharp bettors do, and they know some people that are like professional gamblers and all this stuff. And they were talking about both of these games, and they said that all the pros that they talked to love the Browns this week, and they love the Bears this week. So if they end up winning, Matt, you were on the side of the
So
pros.
shout out Matt.
With
Shout
my
out
favorite.
Matt for
Well,
being a
hey, no,
professional gambler.
no. Let's not shout you out until it hits. But if it does hit, then you need to remind me about that next week and be like, "Yo, Al, I was right," and I'll be like, "Yeah, you were." And so
Well,
we're
I will
apparently these
let you
pros.
know.
So
I
we're
will
apparently
let you
these
know
pros.
because I'm going to be
But
throwing all my picks into a parlay without teasing it, just a
okay,
straight up parlay. All 5 are going into a parlay, and that's going to pay out a decent amount of money. So we'll see. Mhm. But ladies and gentlemen, those are your locks of the week for us. Yeah, there you go. Hopefully, we're
I
going
feel
to
good
print some
about it.
money this week. We feel great about it. I do, at least. We
Yeah,
always seem to do really good. We do really good when we agree on one, or usually when we agree on 2 right out the gate. When we disagree and we don't have any that like line up with each other right off the bat, we usually fare a little worse.
It does seem that way some of those weeks after week 1 and 2. It was like we went 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and like we had an agreement. It's like, oh, 2 and 1. Here we
Yep,
go.
exactly.
So, but all right, let's hop into these parlays, Matt. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. Which one do you want to start with?
I think we start with the prop parlays like we tend to do.
All right, let's do it. I will
You want to
start
start?
with mine first. Yeah, I'll start off. Did something a little differently. We're we're taking a lot of quarterbacks this week. We like the quarterbacks. We're
Okay.
just going to take the quarterbacks that we like the best. Like we like them the most. So, starting off, we got Joe Burrow over 1.5 passing touchdowns. There we go. There it is. Joe Burrow over 1.5. Also, Josh Allen also over 1.5 passing touchdowns. I like them both to be able to throw 2 touchdowns. Yep. Pretty easy there, in my opinion. Next, we got Kirk Cousins over 250 passing yards. I like Kirk to be throwing the rock around. We saw Kyle Pitts have his best game of the year last week. I like that to keep going, even though last week was National Tight Ends Day. I think it carries over a little bit. Next, we got Jaden Daniels over 275 plus passing and rushing yards. Jaden Daniels has been running all over the place. Obviously, not as much last week when he hurt his rib, but he's still just going to be out there doing this thing. And he can air out the ball. We know that 275 is pretty easy for him to get to because normally he's at like 80 or 90 rushing yards. So, and then we're also going to do the same thing with Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is just like Jaden Daniels, Jaden Daniels is a little on a step higher than him. So we're only taking Kyler Murray for 225 plus rushing and passing. And then my last two bets here, we're doing Rams at Seattle. First half winner is the LA Rams. I like the Rams to get off to a hotter start in this game. Seattle should probably still be, thinking about their mistakes in the first half, first quarter. Uh, and then we're going Lions at Packers. First quarter, over 9.5 points. I like this game to be a shootout and a lot of points. I'm doing over 9.5. Got to have 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. There you go. That's my parlay right there. Plays plus 55.84.
Is that Rams first half money line? Was it first half or first quarter? It was first half, right?
Rams and Seattle's first half winner.
And so it's just it's like a money line bet. There's no spread in that.
Nope, there's no spread. They just win the half. They have more
Just to
points
be
at
leading at
halftime.
halftime.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
then, Lions and Packers is the first quarter, over 9.5 points. So touchdown and a field goal, and we hit that, which I think we'll get at least. I like it to be 2 touchdowns, but I could see it being a touchdown and a field goal.
Both those defenses can play well.
But both of those offenses can play well too. And that's what I'm really going for.
What was the final odds on that? I didn't get that. I didn't hear that part.
It's plus 55.89.
Holy.
Yeah.
That's a big one, Matt.
And just to let you guys know, this might sound a little crazy. Joe Burrow over 1.5 passing touchdowns is actually plus money. Which
That's
normally
not
you see those.
Higgins is gonna be there.
Yeah, exactly. But if he is playing, then like you said, like this is kind of hedging my bet, but also not really. Like Zach Moss hasn't been very good for the Bengals this year, so it's been all Joe Burrow. So I like Joe Burrow. Yeah, they can score 2 touchdowns. That's fine. Kick a couple field goals, and that game still hits the under, like I talked about earlier. But I mean, I really like Joe Burrow. I like if T. Higgins does play, it's T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and then if T. Higgins doesn't play, Chase will get a touchdown for sure. And then it'll probably be their tight end.
And another nugget to throw out there for the folks out in the public. Joe Burrow is currently tied for 3rd, leading the league in passing touchdowns too. So, as far as if you want to take that, he's tied with Aaron Rodgers and Jordan, 15 so far.
Okay, yeah, and I mean, you're getting plus money on him to throw 2 touchdowns. I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, that feels like a great just single bet, honestly.
Yeah.
I think I'm making that a single bet of my own. I'm gonna lock that one in for Sunday. Okay, so then let me hop into mine real quick. So I have I'm going back to one that did not hit last week, but I expected to hit. So now, since I didn't think it was gonna hit, and it did hit. So I'm going back to it. Josh Allen to not throw an interception. I'm gonna take that again because he went all those weeks without throwing one. Now he threw one, so I think he'll go back to not throwing one. Then I got Jaden Daniels, 40+ rushing yards. I looked. He's done it. He's done this in all but 2 games. One game he had 39, so he's right there, and the other was 22. Then I'm going to go to Derrick Henry, 70+ rushing yards. Normally, if you guys have been watching, I take Lamar Jackson 40+. He's hit it every single week. Right now, the book I use, DraftKings, doesn't have a 40+ rush for Lamar. So if that pops up because he's going to play, throw that in for sure. But if that is not available, then I'd like Derrick Henry for 70+ rushing yards. Then I like CeeDee Lamb for 100+ reception yards. He just had 150 against the Niners. He's playing the Falcons this week, and the Falcons have not been great in their secondary. So I like CeeDee Lamb to pop off and get another 100+ reception yards. I like Alvin Kamara for 125+ rushing plus receiving yards. Derek Carr might be back this week. They're playing the Panthers. The Panthers are the worst team against the run. So that just feels easy to me. I almost took him for 150, but then I was like, yo, chill out. You're making a 6-leg parlay. Go for what's going to hit. And then my final pick is Kyren Williams, 100+ receiving plus rushing yards. They're playing Seattle. Seattle gives up 150 yards a game to running back. So that feels like a slam dunk to me, especially if I get the receiving yards in there. And that pays out plus 42.36.
Okay. A little bit lower than mine this week, which is weird. It isn't normally.
Well, Derrick Henry was minus 200, I think. Oh, by the way, if I didn't say it, Derrick Henry's hit this number in all but 2 games this season.
Okay.
And then Jaden Daniels was minus money. CeeDee Lamb was plus money. Alvin Kamara was plus money. Kyren, I believe, was a straight bet money for 100+ rushing and receiving. And then Josh Allen was minus money for his no interception. So a lot of minuses on here, only a couple pluses. And you had 7 legs. I only had 6.
Okay. Yeah, but there you go. You got a 49. You said you're 49 or 4,800?
4,200.
Oh, 4,200. Okay, so you got a 4,200 and a 5,500, and that's just what we give you guys. We give you guys one every Sunday. Makes the games more exciting to watch. If you got Red Zone, you can turn that on. Uh, if you got Sunday Ticket, it's awesome. It's a life changer in my opinion. I just got
Mm-hmm.
it this year, and it has been awesome to be able to watch Red Zone and three other games. Like the three main games that I care about. Always get to watch the Colts lose on a different one, but it is what it is. But yeah, that's it for the props parlay. And then now we get to jump into my favorite part of the video, which is the touchdown score parlays.
Heck yeah.
Heck to the yes. This one, feel great about. Uh, didn't do what I did last week, the week before, the week before. Normally I take these guys that are plus 200 and throw them in there. Not doing that this week. We're taking guys that we like a lot. So, first off, we're taking Mark Andrews playing against the Broncos. Like we talked about, Ravens, they just lost. I think they're going to try to beat up the team that they're playing against. I did say that the Broncos should be able to hold them. I think they will, but I mean, if you get in the red zone, you're going to throw the ball to your big guy, Mark Andrews, and he's back finally. So we got Mark Andrews
Yep.
there. Next, we're going Jamar Chase, just because we're not sure if T. Higgins is going to play or not. Jamar Chase against the Raiders. That seems like a lock every single week that T. Higgins doesn't play. And also, even when T. Higgins does play, it's Jamar Chase. He's the number one guy over there. And then next, we're going Nick Chubb versus the Chargers. Like I said, I think this game is going to be a real punch in the mouth game. It's just going to be back and forth. Give me a good pass here or there. Just go all the way down the field. They're going to give it to Nick Chubb and run the ball 3 times. And then James Cook versus the Dolphins. Dolphins defense is not good, so let's just take the running back against them. And I mean, it's James Cook. Like he'll probably catch a touchdown. Like that's fine. He doesn't have to rush it in. Then we got CD Lamb, like you talked about. You had him in your parlay. We like him a lot this week against the Falcons. Should have another big game. Dallas might have turned a corner. We'll see. And then last but not least, we got Brian Robinson for the Commanders playing against the Giants. I don't love the matchup there because the Giants' defense is good. Their front is really good. But I do like the fact that the Commanders can run the ball on anybody. So give me Brian Robinson there. And that one pays out plus 10,207.
Holy
Yeah.
10,000?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it either.
And that's Mark Andrews, Jamar Chase, Nick Chubb, James Cook, CD Lamb, Brian Robinson.
There you go. That's it.
I will be betting that one.
I know. 6 touchdown scores for plus
That's
10,000.
absolutely nuts.
It's insane. And it's because a lot of these guys are actually like plus 100. That's why. Like not a lot of these guys like, but they're all big names.
Insane.
They're all the guys that you're, expecting to score every
Right.
single week. So, there you go. Let us know in the comments what you think about that one because I thought that was crazy. Maybe FanDuel messed up on that one, but all I know is it said plus 10,000. I said yes, please. So.
Okay. Mine is not paying anywhere near that.
It's not touching it. No.
But
that's
I'll jump into
my
mine.
favorite.
Mine, I will say also in mine, almost every single player in here is minus money.
Which they normally
so it's
are.
Probably going to hit. No, like heavy minus money.
Oh, here we go.
So I got Derrick Henry.
Yep.
Obviously, that's an easy choice. I've got Alexander Mattison for the Raiders, who are going up against the Bengals, and the Bengals have given up 11 touchdowns on the ground. So they're the third worst, actually, against the run. Fourth worst against the run as far as giving up touchdowns. So that's why I like that. I got CD Lamb, is just like you do. I think he's going to have a huge game. I've got J.K. Dobbins for the Chargers going up against the Browns. I just think they're going to run the ball a lot. And like you said, it's going to be lower scoring, but J.K. Dobbins is a beast, and I think he's just going to get the job done. Then I've got Alvin Kamara going up against the Panthers. They've given up 14 touchdowns on the ground, so that seems like a slam dunk. And then my last one is Kyren Williams against Seattle. I just think that is too easy, and as we know, Kyren Williams is on a streak of getting a touchdown every single week, so that just seems like a slam dunk. He's, I think, at 10 now, right?
9 or 10, yes.
Yeah, and this thing pays out plus 1737. So way less than Matt's.
Way less, yeah.
You got 6 guys, and you got, Kamara feels like a slam dunk. Kyron's a slam dunk. Alexander Mattison against the Bengals feels like a slam dunk. And then Derrick Henry that's 4 of the 6 picks.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're just kind of rolling the dice on CD Lamb and J.K. Dobbins. But to me, I don't even think Dobbins is a roll of the dice, and CD Lamb is CD Lamb. So
yeah, exactly. CD Lamb, you're not really rolling the dice. You kind of are if you're like, is Dak going to have a good game or not? But at the same time, too, it's like all you have to do is throw one deep and CD Lamb will get it. So
right. I think the only two
really
plus the only 2 plus monies on here were CeeDee Lamb at plus 110, and
Mm-hmm.
then Alexander Madison was plus 140, and the
Yeah.
rest of them were minus. Like Henry was minus big money, Kyron's minus, like Henry was minus 340 now. He's been
Yep.
going up every single week. Like a couple weeks ago, he was like minus 280. Now he's minus 340. Kyron's minus 240.
Mm-hmm.
Kamara's minus like 140.
Yep. I
And
mean,
then I think even Dobbins was like a minus 110.
and that's the
So,
thing with Kyron. Just to talk about Kyron here for a minute, like Kyron is like just he's the number one weapon there. Like in my opinion, like think what you want of Puka Nakua, think what you want of Cooper Cup. I mean, that offense goes through Kyron. Like whether it's him blocking so that way Stafford gets an extra second or two to be able to throw the ball deep, whether it's him catching the ball, whether it's him running right down the middle. Like he's a great running back, great receiver, and great blocking too. So he's just an all around player. Like it's everybody at the start of the season was worried that he wasn't going to have as big of a workload because they said that he was going to be returning punts and doing
mhm.
like the kickoffs and stuff like that. But a lot of people forget that Cooper Cup, when he was starting out, and also the year that he won the Triple Crown, he was also returning punts. Like
Right.
returning punts for a lot of people, like for most players, it means yeah, your career or your career with the team is on its way out. But the Rams, it's the opposite. It's like, oh, cool, like you're going to return our punts for us, and then they have the best season of their career. So and
Right.
Kyron Williams is on pace right now for 1,400 rushing yards, and I don't even know how many touchdowns. I mean, what, 19, 20, maybe 21, 22 touchdowns? So, because he's had one every
I
game,
mean,
and at least
he's
one.
had one every single game at least, right? And
Yep,
he's balling, and he's a great player. We love betting him.
yep,
Um, I don't know why we haven't had Kyron in our freaking touchdown score parlay every week. That's just a miss on our part. But I don't
yeah,
think I knew he'd been scoring a touchdown every week until a couple weeks ago, and they're like, "Oh, he's at 8 or 9 or whatever."
yeah, exactly.
And I was
Nine
like,
in a
"Dang,
row, and
eight
I'm
or
like,
9 weeks in a row. Geesh, okay." So I've missed out on a bunch of easy touchdown bets,
yeah,
just even
exactly.
straight up, let alone the parlay. Like you just bet that by itself.
hmm And then also something for you guys out there in the audience watching us. Let us know in the comments what your guys' opinion is or your stance on Kamara. What is his name? Is it Alvin Kamara or Alvin Kamara? Alan says it differently than I do. I want to get your guys' opinion. Let me know. Uh, just I don't even know how we would do that. Maybe two A's if you think it's Kamara, and then one A if you think it's Kamara. But uh,
How do you pronounce it, Matt?
Kamara.
I think it's Kamara.
Yeah, I know. So that's why I said,
So
hey,
just
let us
say
know in the
Team
comments.
Al. Say Team Al in the comments if you're Team Kamara, and say Team Matt in the comments if you're Kamara,
It's
which
Kamara.
just even sounds wrong rolling
It's
off the
Kamara.
tongue there.
It's Kamara.
All
It
right,
feels right.
let's jump into this last set here. This is the teasers. I'm gonna look to restart the teaser heater and go perfect the rest of the way. Matt's trying to just get his second one of the year, which would be awesome. Matt, what did you bring for a teaser today?
All right. So
What do you like this week?
as you guys know, the five picks that I bring to the table, I throw those into my teaser. Those are the ones that I feel good about. I spent a lot of time, a lot of late nights, just staring at them, being like, hey, these are the ones. We get them down to a science, and there's a reason that we were only missing by one. It's because it's a freak of nature, not supposed to happen, but it does. So we're going with the five picks that we already brought to the table to refresh everybody's memory. I'll run through those again. We got the Broncos at plus 9.5, teasing them up to plus 15.5. Obviously, the line did move, so you're probably going to be getting that at like plus 14.5 because it moved the whole point. Next, we got the Raiders and Bengals game. It's under 46.5. We're teasing that up to under 52.5, which I really like a lot. And then we got Browns versus Chargers. We got plus 7.5. Love that for the Browns there in a game that shouldn't be very high scoring. And then we got Washington Commanders. We're taking them at plus 2.5. We get to tease them all the way up to 2.5. And then last we got the Bears, teasing them up to plus 7.5 at the Cardinals. Oh, sorry, that's not the last one. And then we got the other one
I
that
was
we
gonna
threw in
say,
here. My honorable mention that is one of our locks of the week is the Rams minus 1.5 in Seattle. We're getting them at plus 4.5. And that's my teaser. And there you go. As you guys know, you guys should know by now, you know how teasers work. It's plus 500, 5 times bet, 6.6 pick teaser.
I still don't get how your book only gives you plus 500. You just need to
Well,
switch to DraftKings. It's
well,
plus
yeah,
600 every time.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like, it's okay for me. Like as of right now, it's fine. Like yeah, I should be getting the
Wrong.
plus 100 with DraftKings, but at the same time too, I get way better odds on touchdown scores than you do, so I'll take it.
You can, like we tell everybody, you can use multiple books if your states allow it.
Yep. All right, what's yours? What you got?
So I've got the line moved a little bit on this Commanders Giants game. On DraftKings, it's -4 now.
Oh, okay.
As far as our lock though, like I don't mind. Like I'd take the Commanders even -5. Like I know it's a divisional game, but I'm not impressed by what I see from the Giants. And until the last two games with the Commanders where they played the Ravens and they played the Bears, they'd been scoring 30 points a week. So I don't mind even them -4. So I teased them to +2. I brought the Ravens down from the -8 to the -2. I've got Patriots Titans just like I had in my other one. I've got them over 32 points, which is just a low number. It's the lowest number of the week for all the games before I tease it. And then I'm teasing that even lower. So they just need to get to 32. Commanders Giants, I'm teasing that to over 38. Brought that down from 44. I've got the Saints teased from a -7 to a -1. And then my final is Chargers. I tease them at from -1.5 to +4.5.
Okay.
So I think even if the Chargers lose this game, they'll probably only lose by a field goal. So that makes sense to me. Saints -1. I don't see how they lose to the Panthers. I know it's a divisional game, but the Panthers suck. And if Derek Carr comes back, I think they're going to win. And the Saints are on a six game losing streak.
Yep.
They've lost 6 straight. Like, when do we snap that? It's got to be against the worst team in the league, right?
It has to be. If not, then like it's just a terrible
If
season.
not now, then when?
After
Like,
a great start to the season too. The Saints are one of those mystery teams where it's like, how did you lose so many games in a row when everybody was healthy? Like,
well, they weren't. Now, that's the thing, because Derek Carr got hurt.
Well, Derek Carr, no, like Derek Carr didn't get hurt week 4, did he?
It was week 4 or 5.
I thought it was week 6.
I don't think it was. We'll have to check the logs, but no, I think he's missed like 3 weeks at this point.
Okay, but it is week 9, so I would be right.
If he comes back, then he didn't. If he comes back this week, he's back week 9.
Yeah, but if he's only out 3 weeks, that means week 6 or week 5 he got in.
5, 6.
They lost like 2 games. I know that when Carr was playing, and everybody was healthy.
Yeah.
And it's like they looked great. They looked like this team that was like caught everybody by storm and scored a bunch of points. They looked great, and then just fell off a cliff.
Turns out Dallas just sucks. Yeah, the Titans Pats, dude. Until the Titans stop scoring 14 to 17 a game, I can't not take that number. And teasing that down to 32 just feels like the Patriots are going to score 15 points, and then the Titans are going to score 15, and then you're at 30, and one team has to win. So
yeah,
that feels easy. Ravens -2, like that's probably the one that scares me the most.
It should, yeah. I was gonna say it scares me too, like taking somebody all the way down.
If I can explain it, I'm just trusting Harbaugh's not going to lose back-to-back games.
Yeah, which is fair. Which I could see them winning by 3 points, but that's why I still love the Broncos. Like you're getting +9, and then I get to tease them all the way up to +15.5. And I think the reason that the book did that is because they think that the Ravens will come back and beat up on the next team that they play. The only thing that doesn't make any sense to me is the fact that you're playing against a better defense, like a top 5 defense in the league this year, and you're thinking, oh yeah, the Ravens are just gonna stomp all over them, beat them by 9.5. Like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, because the Ravens haven't really had to come back. Like, this is their first loss in quite a while. So they're like, yeah, they're going to come in here and just be pissed and do a ton of damage.
Yeah, but it's hard to, like, play pissed. You know what I mean?
It's not hard to come out and throw 3 touchdowns early and take a 20-point lead and then expect a rookie quarterback to come back.
No, I agree with that wholeheartedly. But it is hard to do that against a top 5 defense.
Yeah, but what might be playing into this by the book is that Bo Nix hasn't had too many games where he's looked great, and John Harbaugh is like, his defense is good. So it's like you really think, and like I said, the Ravens, they've murdered teams in the first half and they've given up tons of points in the fourth quarter. But of all the quarterbacks and all the teams that you think they're going to give up a huge lead to, I'm less scared of Bo Nix than probably any other quarterback. Like I'm more scared of Gardner Minshew and the Raiders coming back in the fourth quarter than I am of the Denver Broncos with Bo Nix. Like,
Okay.
Cortland Sutton and Bo Nix is not the team that's going to make a 21-point comeback or a 14-point comeback in the fourth quarter.
No, but they'll make a comeback to the point where it's like, oh, that was a cool drive, and then the game will end, but they'll only lose by 7, and I'll still win.
And
So
that's why we locked them in at +8.
exactly.
Because I agree. I think it's too big of a number. But I still think the Ravens win, and I think they win by more field goals. That's why I'm teasing them down. And if this number keeps moving, in the Broncos' favor, like as far as coming down, and gets to 7 or 6, that's even better for the teaser because I always bet late. Like I bet on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And then I get the Ravens basically at a money line pick. Not too mad about that one.
Which I'd be surprised if the Ravens lost at home, for sure.
Well, I think that's another factor, right? The Broncos have to travel to. It's not like the Ravens are on the road in Mile High.
No, but like you've always told me, and like we talked about at the start of the season, you like to keep it on repeat. Is defense travels. So
True.
but we'll see.
True.
It should be a
Defense
good game. We'll see how that game goes. It might be a super low scoring game from what the media is trying to like portray it to be, but
It definitely could be. I will also say for my teaser, if for all of you that do bet it, every game is the morning games, so you will know if you won a bunch of money or lost before the afternoon games start, hopefully. So you're either gonna hate the afternoon games or love the afternoon games because you won a bunch of money. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video, guys. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm still doing basketball videos every day, NBA, and then we'll have Sunday night coming out soon, and then we'll have Monday night coming out soon. And yeah, we appreciate all the love and support, and thank you guys for tuning in. It really does mean a lot. Matt, you got anything else to say to the fine people?
like you said, ditto, me too, same, doubled. I mean, yeah, like it's awesome. Like we're happy with where we're at right now, where the channel is. Like, we're almost halfway through the season and we still got the rest of the season. We still got, a lot of football left. We got a lot of basketball left now for you. So, yeah, we just appreciate it and, enjoy week 9 football and let us know where we were right, where you agree and where you disagree. Like we've loved the interaction that we've gotten from you guys. We've gotten comments now about the basketball videos asking when it's going to come out. We've gotten comments about, the videos that we've been doing for football too. Like, hey, when's it coming out? So we appreciate all that kind of stuff. Like, a little bit of accountability on your guys' part, keeping us accountable. We love it. Like, and we also just like interacting with you guys too. Like, it's a little surreal when it's like, it's people that you don't know. And it's like, it's like, oh, this is actually like kind of a thing that's going and it's happening. And, just exciting for us. And we just want to keep making content for you guys. So just, in return, to show us some love and support, just a comment that just says hi. Like that's all it is. Like just let us know that you're out there so we can get to know you guys a little bit better too.
Or if you're tailing us, let us know if you're winning some bets, man. Like, I mean, we've been positive on these locks of the week. So if we're making you guys money, shout it out. Be like, yo, thanks for the cash this week. Like, hey, we're here for it,
Yep, exactly. But other than that, enjoy Sunday week 9, and we'll see you guys in our next video for Sunday Night Football.
Absolutely.